Listen up, get ready, I'm not gonna take no more. There's a revolution, a revelation going on in my soul. Buckle up, get ready, we're not gonna sit back.
Hey, we're back with more live from the Heartland for the week of July 15th, number 161 since the beginning of the pandemic. And now it's time for sports. And once again, I'm bringing on the actor, the producer, the writer, the martial artist, a former Northwestern University football player, and my cousin, Adam James. How you doing, cousin, out there in California?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you, Michael?
I'm doing good. We don't have a lot of time, but we have an important issue. It's right up the road from where I'm recording this right now. Northwestern University is involved in a little bit of a scandal. Tell us what you know, and then I'll ask you what you think about it and your own experience as a player. So what do you know about what's going on?
Well, first of all, what everybody out there should know, all of the Heartland fans, people from Chicago who love sports and appreciate Northwestern's academic standing and athletic achievements, there's been a tremendous success run with the football program under the leadership of a man named Pat Fitzgerald. Pat was a football player at Northwestern during the 1990s when a coach named Gary Barnett was leading the team. And they had a remarkable breakthrough. They made it to the Rose Bowl. Pat was named Defensive Player of the Year, Buckus Award winner, had a fantastic college career. He's in the Hall of Fame, College Football Hall of Fame. He took over as a very young coach. He was 31 years old at the time when Coach Walker passed away. And he did a great job. He's a great motivator, great recruiter. They've had a lot of success. They've won 2 Big Ten West titles, been to a bunch of bowl games. I think he's won 4 or 5 bowl games. Well, the news that broke over the last couple of days was that there was a incident of hazing. And what has been reported, it wasn't just an incident, it was a program, a system of hazing that was going on for years. And there was evidence that Coach may have known about it, but he certainly should have known about it. And he should have put a stop to it when it was going on. So unfortunately, as this news got out, the administration at Northwestern, the president and the leadership didn't handle it really well. They did an internal investigation. They kept the results private as they are a private institution. They were allowed to do that. But in today's media world, information gets out. And when they made the announcement that they did this thorough investigation, I'm not going to tell anybody what they found, but they are going to suspend the coach for 2 weeks during the summer when there's no games going on, no practices going on. It didn't sit well with some of the people that had reported it. And one guy in particular, who's remained anonymous as a whistleblower, he did step forward and he spoke with the Daily Northwestern, which is the local, it's the newspaper from the university students. And it was a very detailed report of horrific, completely inappropriate, and quite frankly, illegal activities that were going on with the football players. Again, coach should have known about it. If he was ignorant to it, shame on him for not being more aware. That's his job, to be heavily integrated. And furthermore, everybody who's been around any, masculine team, and quite frankly, it happens in women's sports and women's gatherings as well, police academies, military units, sports teams, it's basically organized bullying. That's what hazing is. And, everybody knows that it's somewhere, it's happening at some level. It's usually pretty microaggression kind of stuff. But in this case, it was really bad. And again, should have known about it. There's belief that some people felt that he did know about it and even condoned it. Anyway, the university, as they looked worse for only giving him a slap on the wrist, got aggressive and fired him. So unfortunately for the Northwestern University and certainly this sports program, it's a huge blow. He was an amazing coach. He is in many ways the greatest player and the greatest coach that's ever been at Northwestern. Well, maybe not over Otto Graham, but anyway, certainly a great, great guy. And it's going to be a huge blow to the university. We're going to take a step back. They're going to be under the leadership of the defensive coordinator, at least initially, that's the word. He'll lead the team, him and the offensive coordinator. The entire staff is being kept on. Many of the players, there's no changes there. Many of them can enter what's called the transfer portal. If they choose to, they have 30 days after a head coach change. None have done so far. It's going to be a tough season, but you never know. These guys, all the power to these young men. May they, rally around the new coaching team, new coaching staff, and find a way to to unify and get through this and have a strong season.
Let me jump in here. You did mention to me, I think, in a conversation that he had played under Coach Gary Barnett.
Yes.
And Barnett was also involved in some kind of negative situation. You want to share a little of that?
Yes, well, Gary Barnett was a great coach. He'd been at the University of Colorado when they won the national championship. He came to Northwestern after Dennis Green and Francis Pay. Gary took over the program and did a tremendous job. He got them to the Rose Bowl. Then he got the job at Colorado. So he went to Colorado, was the coach there. They had a female kicker. You may have heard about that. She was harassed. She endured a lot, and she protested. And it was found that Barnett was, if nothing else, should have been aware, but may have been aware and allowed it to occur. Anyway, he was let go because of a harassing scandal. Now, when I played, and again, I played under Dennis Green and Francis Pay, and it was different. It was, that was 35, 40 years ago. But there was hazing. There was hazing going on then. And I wouldn't be surprised if, these things continue as they do in many programs, many gatherings of men, that they may have been continuing on when Pat Fitzgerald was there playing under Gary Barnett. I don't know. But we do know that Gary Barnett had hazing going on in Colorado. And we do know that Pat Fitzgerald had it going on at Northwestern. But regardless, I wish Pat Fitzgerald the best. It's unfortunate this is how his legacy at Northwestern will end, but I'm confident he'll go on and do other things. I hope that he can, come to grips with what occurred there and never allow that kind of thing to happen on his watch again.
But your position was he should be fired.
Absolutely. Once this became aware, there's no way any person whose own son was on that team and may have endured these kind of things would ever want that guy in charge of their children again. And that's going to be the tough thing for Pat. He's going to have to convince people that he, has that authority and that he has that responsibility.
I try to remember back. I played football at not a powerful school like Northwestern's team. I played at Lake Forest College, and I don't remember any stuff like that, to be honest with you. I do remember in high school playing high school football where people would take a stick and dip it into the analgesic balm and kind of come at you for your private parts and your rear end, that kind of thing. And it was just pretty common practice, stuff like that in the locker room.
And a lot of people, one of the things you'll hear in some circles, especially amongst tough guys, is these guys that were getting harassed, they should have just took it and moved forward. That's some of the attitude you'll hear some people say. Pat Fitzgerald should not have been fired. You'll hear some people say that these kind of things go on. He should just been slapped harder on the wrist. But truthfully, is if you are the recipient of that stuff, one of the things that goes through your mind is, I could fight back, but there's like 20 of them and one of me. The other thing that goes through your mind is, I want to be a part of this team. I want to play. I want to have respect of these guys. So a lot of times they'll just take it. And that's what people, when we're analyzing bullying, is that the victims oftentimes not only are the victim of bullying, but they're victim of society's attitudes towards people who get bullied, that you should be tougher, you should be able to take it. And quite honestly, that's not appropriate. We should be standing up for each other. And these guys that were in conducting these kind of things, they needed to remind themselves that they're like the big brothers. Their job is to create an environment where these younger players feel welcome, supported, that they can be their best, they can strive to be better than they are now. And it's hard to do that when you're looking over your shoulder for some guy coming up behind you with a hockey stick with analgesic balm on it.
Okay, Adam, this is good. I'm glad you shared that, and get another sports report ready for the next about a month away from now.
If I may, I'll finish with this last little note. Of course, the sport that I'm in now, and I have been for most of my life, is martial arts. And there's a really great event going on here in the Southern California area coming up on August 5th. It's called Dragon Fest. Dragon Fest is an expo trade show for martial arts enthusiasts. It is in support of the Martial Arts History Museum, which is located in Burbank, California. It's heavily tied to the martial arts movie industry as well. So Dragon Fest has all kinds of martial arts, experts there doing demonstrations, but there's also all kinds of movie stars showing up, doing autographs, photography stuff. It's a lot of fun. So For anybody out there who's in Southern California and loves martial arts, come on out to Dragon Fest on August 5th at the Glendale Civic Auditorium in support of the Martial Arts History Museum. And no matter where you are in the country, if you love martial arts, this one's worth jumping on a plane or getting in your car and driving out and saying hello and hanging out with us.